Thanks so much, Mia. My name's Jess Clay. I'm chef and owner of Shift Restaurant, located at 39 Broadway Street, right here in Frostburg. And I am going to prepare for you a kale Caesar salad. I have most of my kale cleaned up, but when you buy it in the market, it's going to come on a big stem, so that stem's not very edible. You want to just basically tear the leaf right off the stem, and then you're left with all this beautiful kale. And what I like to do is kind of just tear it and leave it in bite-sized pieces. Obviously, you don't want huge chunks that you're trying to put in your mouth when you're eating a salad. So, about bite-sized pieces. Okay, so my kale's clean and it's ready to go. Now I'm going to work on the dressing. So we make most of our dressings at Shift from scratch, and all of our condiments. That's really what we try and focus on. So when I was coming up with a Caesar salad recipe, I really didn't want to use anchovies, but I also wanted that brininess. So I came up with using raw garlic, but not in chunk form, because obviously that would be really overpowering. So what you want to do is get a mortar and pestle, and you want to put about a teaspoon of salt in there, and then you're just going to start whacking your garlic until you can form it into a paste, essentially. I wouldn't add more than a teaspoon of salt, though. That would make it a little overwhelming. So again, you're just going to keep mashing it until it becomes a paste. It's also a nice tool to use if you have whole, herbs and whatnot that you want to mash into a paste. Okay, so I have my garlic in a paste, and in this container I have about a half a cup of Greek yogurt, and then I have about a quarter of a cup of the mayonnaise. And to that I just want to add my garlic. I'm not going to add any salt to the dressing since the salt was already mashed in with the garlic. And then I prefer sherry vinegar, but you can use red wine vinegar, apple cider vinegar, and you want to go for about 2 teaspoons just to kind of cut the richness of the yogurt and the mayonnaise. And you want to mix it together till it's all incorporated. And then from there I like to add about a half a teaspoon of black pepper. Use less or more according to what your preference is. And pretty much in a nutshell, that's our dressing that we're going to use to toss our Caesar salad in. So I'm gonna get this bowl. You want a pretty nice sized bowl when you're trying to toss a salad, because you want to be able to turn it and coat it. And it's also kind of key to start with a little bit of the salad dressing. A little bit goes a long way. You can't take it out once you put it in, because you don't want it to be, weighed down and soggy. You want to still have a nice crunch to it. So we're just going to start tossing this until it starts to kind of come together and coat it. And then, this is a really nice salad. You don't need a stove to make it. You can also add whatever you'd like in it. You could put chicken, you could put shrimp, you could put more vegetables. So it's a really just nice platform for, spring and summer, and it's quick. Okay, so I'm going to add a little bit more salad dressing. All right. And then from there, I am going to add some Kalamata olives. Again, you can pretty much put whatever vegetable you want. I like this because it kind of mimics the anchovies. So we're going to keep tossing it a little bit more until it's kind of all incorporated. You also want to make sure that your kale is dry, because if it's not dry, your dressing is not going to stick to it, which would obviously be a big disappointment. Okay, so then to that, I'm going to add some croutons. Now, we make these in-house. Essentially, we just take all of our stale bread, toss it in a little bit of olive oil, canola oil, whatever you prefer. This we put a little bit of like rosemary and thyme and things of that nature on there. But you're just going to put them in the oven, cut them into cubes, put them in the oven for about 15-20 minutes, and you got yourself some croutons. Okay, now for me, the most important part of the Caesar salad is the Parmesan cheese. So we're gonna grate some in there and then toss it one more time, and then we are also going to grate some on it after I plate it up. All right, it's coming together nicely. All right, so now I have some plates in front of me. Put the other one on here. Now, like I said, if you prefer more dressing, you know, feel free to go with it as liberal as you want. I always just like to start out with a little bit less and add to instead of, like I said, you can't take it back. All right, well there's our kale Caesar salads. Now again, I'm gonna just put a few more olives on there and a few more croutons. And then I am going to put a little bit more of the Parmesan cheese. I like a microplane. Box graters, you know, they're heavy and bulky and kind of hard to maneuver. So a microplane is definitely a good investment in the kitchen. All right, and there you have it, the kale Caesar salad with Kalamata olives. We have rye croutons and a nice homemade garlic yogurt dressing. And like I said, you can top it with pretty much, you know, whatever else you would like to. If you want to put chicken, steak, shrimp, really the possibilities are endless. So anyway, I want to thank you for joining me today, and check out our website at shiftfrostberg.com.